Good morning and welcome to this online platform. This lesson is coming to you from City International Secondary School. And this morning we'll be discussing English language. Now, under the English language, the topic I would like us to treat is sounds. I know very well that this is not the first time of you hearing about sounds in English language. Now, when you hear the word sounds, what comes to your mind? What are sounds in English language? I would like to make it clear. I would like you to understand that the English language as a language has two perspectives. And the perspectives we're talking about here are the written English and the spoken English. Now, these are the two perspectives of the English language. Whenever you talk about the written English, we are referring to the letters. We are talking about the letters of the alphabet. And like you know, the letters of the alphabet are 26 in number. These 26 letters of the alphabet that we have are divided into vowels and consonants. We have 5 vowels. Remember, we are talking about the written English. We have 5 vowels and 21 consonants. This is about the written English. But this is not exactly what we are going to be talking about. This is not where this lesson is going to be dwelling. I would want this lesson to dwell very much on the spoken aspect of the English language. Why? Because the spoken aspect of the English language is actually the English language that is more challenging to students, especially as regards this examination that you're about to write. Now, when you mention the spoken English does not talk about the letters of the alphabet. It rather talks about the sounds. This is where we come in here now. We now talk about the sounds of the English language, the sounds that you make. Remember, when you are referring to the spoken, you are talking about what you write. But here, we're talking about the way you pronounce those things that you have written, the way you use sounds to communicate, the sounds that you make when you speak. And the spoken aspect of the English language, like I said, deals with sounds. And the English language has 44 sound symbols. We are on the spoken English now. There are 44 sounds of the English language. And these 44 sounds of the English language are divided into vowels and consonants. Now, we are going to explain each of these, starting with vowel. Now, when you talk about vowels, what are vowel sounds in English? Vowel sounds in English language are those sounds. There are those sounds in the English language that are produced without obstruction. These sounds are produced, remember I said without obstructions. What this means is that they are sounds that you produce freely. And remember that when you make sounds, when you produce sounds, this is possible as a result of the contributions of your speech articulators, of your speech organs. When you talk about the speech organs, we include the tongue, the teeth, the alveolar, and the rest of them. They are body parts that help you to produce sounds. Now, whenever there there is no obstruction in the course of your producing a sound. When you are able to produce a sound without any obstruction, the sound that you produce is a vowel sound. This is to say that when you try to produce this sound, there is nothing obstructs the flow of air. The air just flows from the lung through the air tube and then out of your mouth. It just flows out freely without being obstructed. The sound you produce is a vowel sound. And the vowel sounds include sounds like the A sound, the E sound, the I sound, and so on. All these sounds, if you observe, are produced without obstruction. When you want to produce something like A sound, you find out that you just open your mouth. You just say ah, like in the word bat. If you observe what happens when you find out that there is no obstruction, you just open your mouth and allow the air to flow out. The same thing is applicable here. When you produce the sound like in pet, the sound you just allow the air to flow out. It is not obstructed. Now, whenever you are able to produce a sound without obstruction, what you have produced is the vowel sound. Now, this vowel sound, I want you to remember that we said that there are 44 sounds. Totally, there are 44 sounds of the English language. The vowel sounds are 20 in number, while the consonants are 24. We are going to be talking about the consonant later, but for today, let us discuss the vowel sounds, which are 20 in number. And if you have taken note of this, I will then have to wipe this off, because we are talking about vowels. And we said that the vowels are 20 in number. These 20 vowel sounds that we have are categorized, they are grouped. Right under this vowel sound, you have what we refer to as the monotones. And then we have the diphthongs. By this prefix here, mono. Mono will tell you that this has something to do with one. Monotones are sounds, are vowel sounds that are just single. Let us take, for instance, when you have something like the A sound, it is just one sound. A. It is part of these monotones. Monotones are sounds of the vowel that are single. And I have shown you an example of it. Now, under these monotones, remember we said that vowels are 20 in number. These monotones are 12 in number. And the diphthongs are 8. The monotones are single. The diphthongs are sounds that are double. Some textbooks will refer to it as double sounds. You find out that by the time we get here, you find out that they are sounds that glide from one particular vowel sound into another. This is why we refer to it as diphthongs. Now, there are 8 monotones and 12 diphthongs. These 8 monotones are further classified into 2. Take note that we said there are 12 monotones. They are 12 in number. Now, these 12 are divided into 2. We have the short vowels and the long vowels. Now, these short vowels are 7 in number, and the long vowels are 5. I believe you will remember where we started from. There are 44 sounds of the English language, and these 44 sounds are divided into vowels and the consonants. The vowels are 20, and the consonants on the other part are 24. Now, these 20 vowel sounds are further classified into 2, the 12 monotones and the 8 diphthongs. And right under the monotones, you have the 7 short vowels and the 5 long vowels. I am just going to list them for now, but in our subsequent online classes, we are going to discuss how you can possibly, it is possible that you have those 44 sounds of the English language in your head. It is very possible that you can present them without having to look into any book. Now, how do we do this? This is something we are going to discuss in our subsequent class. For now, I am just going to list. This 7 short vowels that we have, they include the short A sound, the short E sound, the short E sound. You have, this is O sound, like in the word pot, the short O sound. There are 4 of them now. If you go further, you have the U sound, short one, because of course there is the long one. The short U sound. After that, you then have, there are 2 vowels that I often refer to as troublesome vowels. They are, you have this. This is the A sound. Don't get it confused. At times, people seem to confuse this sound for this or for this. This is not like the A sound, no. And it is not the A sound. This sound is in the middle of it. This is A sound. Of course, you have to widen your mouth, but not as wide as your mouths are, not as wide as your lips are when you want to produce this sound. This is A, like in the word love. Some persons refer to this as love. But this sound, this word here is love. That is this sound. And then the 7th one is the most troublesome vowel sound, and that is the schwa sound. These are the 7 short vowels that we have. Then for the long, on the side of the long vowels, we then begin to bring some of the things that we have already here to this side. This A sound has a long one. Ah, on the long side of it you have A, and then you have the long E sound. Like in the word girl. There are 2 now. The 3rd one, this short E has a long version of it, the E sound. And then you have the U sound, and finally you have this sound here, which is short, has its long version, and that is the O sound. And take note that all the long sounds here they all feature these 2 dots. This is what tells you that the sound actually is a long vowel sound. And take note, whenever you are transcribing, whenever you are referring to sound, these 2 slants here must be present to tell whoever sees it that this is, that you're talking about sounds and not letters. We'll be stopping here for now. Of course, more of this type of a lesson will come your way from this same State International School. And the next time we're going to meet, we are going to discuss the diphthongs and then the consonants. Thank you. How many minutes?